Friday, 12th of August 2022, Lord Balaram's appearance. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janaballabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Janaballabha Girivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayam Vishnupada Paramahamsa Paribrajakachaja Stotara Sata Sri Srimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prince Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinata Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Shri Vrindavan Mathura Dham Ki Jai Navadip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai Jamuna Mai Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. So today, instead of the Gita class, we will give a short talk on the appearance of Lord Balaram. Today is his appearance day. Lord Balaram is the first expansion of Lord Krishna, and the only difference actually between Krishna and Balaram is that Krishna's complexion is bluish, like a rain-laden cloud, and Balaram's complexion is white, like the cloud you get in the autumn season after the rain, deep white cloud. In the Dasavatar Stotra, or the prayers to the 10 incarnation of Krishna, Lord Balaram is mentioned by Jayadeva Goswami. Vahasi vapusi vishade jalanam vasanam jaladhabam alahati biti milita jamunabam keshavadrita haladara rupa jaya jagadisha hare. So here Jagadev refers to Balaram as Haladhar, means he carries the plough. In Vrindavan, in their intimate leelas, teaching also how to live in the material world, Lord Krishna maintains the cows, which are intrinsic and crucial in maintaining peaceful life on this planet by cow protection. And Lord Balaram, so Krishna takes care of the cow. He carries a stick, multicolored stick, to herd the cows. Sometimes Krishna herds the cows with his flute or by calling their names. And Balaram, he carries a plough. Balaram is specifically teaching us the art of agriculture. So by maintaining cows and growing grains, we can solve our problems of maintenance in a simple, very natural way. And in this way, we can free our time and especially free our mind to tackle the real problems of life, as who am I? What am I doing in this material world? What is the purpose of my life? How do I regain my eternal life? How do I stop this cycle of birth and death? The material world is a dangerous place. Padam padam hi vipadam natesham. At every step it is dangerous. The material world is dangerous because everybody is competing with everybody else for material resources. People are competing for material resources because they believe that the goal of life is to satisfy the senses. And the senses become satisfied by exploiting material nature. And if everybody is simply engrossed in trying to satisfy the senses by accumulating more and more objects from the material nature, then we compete against each other, either as individuals or as nations. And in this way, by competition, we become envious, we cause strife, we cause problems. So Krishna and Balaram, they came to teach us the opposite of this, came to teach us how to be peaceful, how to be loving with one another. So in Vrindavan, there is the main temple of the Krishna consciousness movement, the Krishna Balaram Mandir. It was established by Srila Prabhupada in 1975. Now, when the temple was under construction, everybody in Vrindavan, all the sadhus, all the math adipatis, the presidents of the different famous temples of Vrindavan, they all thought that Swamiji, Srila Prabhupada, he would build a temple for Radha Krishna, because Vrindavan is the property of Srimati Radharani, and especially Radha Krishna is being worshipped as the principal deity of Vrindavan. But Srila Prabhupada surprised everyone, including us, by building a temple to Krishna and Balaram. Krishna and Balaram are the main deities of the temple, and on the left there is Nitai Gaur, and on the right there is Radha Shyam Sundar. But the main deity is Krishna and Balaram. Prabhupada was pointing out that the purpose of spiritual life is to satisfy Krishna and Balaram, not to be satisfied by them, not to worship Radha and Krishna to make us feel good or to make us feel advanced. No, the criterion is always how to satisfy Krishna. If the criteria in one's life is to how to satisfy Krishna, there is no more competition. Because Krishna, he can accept worship from everybody. He is able to reciprocate with everyone in such a way that everyone becomes peaceful. When one adopts this process of bhakti, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, hearing and chanting about Vishnu, he becomes happy to serve Krishna. When he becomes happy to serve Krishna, he doesn't see the need to compete with anybody else. So, when Krishna and Balarama are brothers, Balaram is the elder brother. He was the seventh son of Devaki. When he was in the womb of his mother, Yogamaya, she transferred the embryo of Lord Balaram from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini. Rohini was one of the other queens of Vasudeva, Krishna's father. Vasudeva had 16 queens, and Devaki was the main queen, and Rohini was the second queen. Rohini was sent to Vrindavan for protection because Kamsa was persecuting the Yadu dynasty, and specifically he was persecuting Devaki and Vasudeva because it had been predicted that the eighth son of Devaki would kill him. In his previous life, Kamsa was a demon called Kalanemi, connected with the family of the demon Hiranyakashipu. It's a long story. Anyhow, this Kalanemi was killed by Vishnu, and subconsciously he remembered this, and he was always afraid that Vishnu would kill him also in this present life. Actually, Kamsa was a very unsavory character. He was belonging to a cult that is still existing in the Himalayas, where they worship Bhadrakali, or the dark side of the material energy, by offering human sacrifice. They're also eating meat, drinking liquor, and in this way they had no proper Brahminical lifestyle. And Kamsa was very, very powerful. He was able to defeat even the demigods, and he made alliances with other demons just to control the material world. His demon friends were like Putana, Baka, Aga, Jarasandha. So they formed a clique, and they controlled most of India 5,000 years ago. So Krishna appears to defeat this type of demons. Krishna appears paritranaya sadhunam, to give protection to his devotees, vinashaya cha duskritam, to kill the demons, dharma samstapanartaya, to establish the principles of religion. The principles of religion are that everything belongs to Krishna. Everything is the property of Krishna, and everything should be used in his service. Whereas demons like Kamsa, they had the opposite, that everything belongs to me. And therefore he subconsciously was afraid that because he had stolen from Krishna, that Krishna would come and kill him. And that was actually predicted by a voice in the sky during the marriage of Vasudeva and Devaki. Now, Krishna was related to Kamsa because his mother Devaki was the cousin sister of Kamsa. Devaki's father was Devaka Maharaj, and Kamsa's father was Ugrasena. So Ugrasena and Devaka were brothers. So from Devaka, Devaki was born, and from Ugrasena, Kamsa. So Kamsa and Devaki were cousin brothers. In Vedic society, cousin brothers are considered just like brothers and sisters. So Devaki and Kamsa were brothers and sisters, and Krishna, therefore, was Kamsa's nephew. When Balaram was transferred to the womb of Rohini, he took birth in Vrindavan, and about 1 year later, Krishna took birth, and he was also transferred to Vrindavan by Vasudeva. So the two boys, they grew up in Vrindavan, and nobody knew that Krishna was the son of Vasudeva. But they did know that Balaram was the son of Vasudeva. Anyhow, Vasudeva from Mathura, he sent his priest, Gargamuni, to perform the birth ceremony of Krishna and Balaram. So when Gargamuni perform the name-giving ceremony, so not the birth ceremony, the name-giving ceremony. When the name-giving ceremony was performed by Gargamuni, he named Balaram, he gave him two names, Baladev and Shankarshan. He said, this boy will be known as Baladev, who will be very, very strong. Bala means strength, and Dev means the Supreme Lord. So Baladev, because by the strength of Balaram, we are able to make spiritual progress. The main activity of Balaram is to serve Krishna. And he serves Krishna by giving Krishna's devotees proper strength in their devotion to Krishna. And his second name was Sankarshan. Sankarshan means to draw, because he drew together the family of Krishna and the families of the Yadus and the families of the descendants of Ugrasena and Devaka. So he joined the two families. The Yadu family and the Vrindavan families were intimately connected together by the mercy of Sankarshan or Balaram. Now Balaram, as I said, there is no difference between Krishna and Balaram except in complexion, although Krishna is the origin. Sometimes even Balaram does not fully understand Krishna's activities. For example, at one point in Vrindavan, Lord Brahma came and he stole away all of Krishna's friends, cowherd friends, and all his calves, and he hid them in a cave. And Krishna manifested these boys and calves as they were, simply by his internal potency. And for 1 year, he played the part of all the different cowherd boys and all the different calves. And that caused an ocean of love in Vrindavan, because the mothers of the cowherd boys and the mothers of the calves, their love for their calves and for their sons increased more and more, because actually they were Krishna. They didn't know this, but their love for them increased more and more, because Krishna, anybody who comes into contact with Krishna, his love becomes unchained, becomes manifested. So when Balaram, he saw this, so he went to Krishna and he said, there is some mystic power going on here, because I'm seeing that there is so much loving exchange between the mothers of the cowherd boys, all our friends, and between the cows and their calves. So Krishna explained to Balaram what had happened with the activities of Lord Brahma. So even Balaram sometimes doesn't know exactly how Krishna is performing his pastimes. Anyhow, in Vrindavan, Balaram was always giving protection to Krishna, and sometimes he would also kill some of the demons. One of the big demons that Balaram killed is called Dhenuka. So there are 12 forests in Vrindavan, and one of the forests is called Talavan. The Talavan forest is full of date trees. So one time the cowherd boys, they approached Krishna and Balaram and said, Dear Krishna and Balaram, dear Balaram, you are very, very strong, and Krishna, you can provide everything we need, but we would like to go nearby. There is a wonderful forest full of tal trees or palm trees, and the fruits are ripe, and you can even smell the aroma of this fruit from here, but we cannot go into that forest. Nobody can go, because a demon lives there in the form of an ass, and his name is Dhenuka. So you please go to this forest and kill this Dhenuka so we may enjoy the tal fruits. So they went, and when they arrived in the tal forest, Balaram began to shake some trees, and he created a huge disturbance. The ground was shaking, and when Dhenukasura, when he felt this, he understood that Balaram has come to challenge me. So he ran to Balaram and he kicked him on the chest. Balaram is so kind, he tolerated. And then again, Dhenuka turned around and again kicked Balaram on the chest. The second time, Balaram grabbed Dhenuka by his hind legs, spun him around, and threw him onto the top of a palm tree. And in this way, Dhenukasura was killed. and all of his friends also attacked Krishna and Balaram, and they were all killed. So Balaram, another item of information, that he threw these demons onto the palm trees, and actually the flag on his chariot is a palm tree. Krishna on his chariot, the flag is Garuda. Arjuna on his chariot, the flag is Hanuman. And Balaram on his chariot, the flag is a palm tree. So he killed Dhanukasura, and later on he killed another demon called Pralamba. Pralambasura was also one of the friends of Kamsa, sent to Vrindavan to kill Krishna and Balaram. And this Pralamba, he took the body of a coward boy. The demons are very, very expert at shape-shifting. They shift their shape. They can take any form they like, just like Putna. Although she was a gigantic witch, she took the form of a beautiful lady. She looked as beautiful as Lakshmi. So Pralamba, he took the form of a coward boy. But Krishna, he understood that this is a demon. So he organized the game. Some of the boys took the side of Krishna, some of the boys took the side of Balaram, and they played. And those who lost had to carry the winners on their shoulders. So Krishna's side lost. Therefore, Krishna had to carry his friend. And Balaram carried Pralamba on his shoulders. And Pralamba carried Balaram on his shoulders, because Balaram won. So Balaram was carried on the shoulders of Pralamba, and Pralamba immediately ran away into the forest, taking Balaram away. So Balaram understood that this Pralamba is not actually a coward boy. He means to do me harm. But because Balaram is very heavy, Pralamba couldn't maintain his coward boy form. He began to expand into his original demonic form. In the same way, if you worship Balaram, the so-called beautiful material world reveals its ugly face. The so-called demons who pretend to be great politicians, great humanitarians, they pretend to be the friends of everyone, their demonic nature becomes manifested. One who actually understands Krishna consciousness, Balaram consciousness, understands the nature of the material world. So this demon, Pralamba, he couldn't maintain the illusion of being a coward boy. He couldn't maintain the illusion of being a nice person. His original demonic form began to expand into the sky. So Balaram realized this demon is trying to kill me, so he struck him with his fist, and the demon fell down onto the slab of stone and died. So that was Pralambasura. Later on, Krishna and Balaram, they went to Mathura because Kamsa organized a wrestling match with the intention of killing Krishna and Balaram. Since every demon that he had sent to Vrindavan, beginning with Putna, Trinavarta, Bakasura, Agasura, since all these demons had been killed by Krishna, he called Krishna to Mathura, and Krishna came and he personally killed Kamsa. After Kamsa was killed, Kamsa had 8 brothers, and they immediately attacked Krishna, but Krishna didn't fight them. Lord Balaram did, and he killed every one of them. Actually, according to the Vedic system, it is not proper for a nephew to kill his uncle. That is, you cannot kill your family member. So Krishna killed Kamsa because it was necessary. Kamsa was too powerful. Nobody else could kill him. So Krishna appeared just to kill Kamsa. Vinashaya cha duskritam. And Balaram was not a relative of Kamsa because his mother was Rohini. Krishna's mother was Devaki, who was the cousin sister of Kamsa. Therefore, Kamsa was Krishna's uncle. But Balaram's mother was not related to Kamsa. Therefore, Balaram took charge of killing the 8 brothers of Kamsa. After killing the 8 brothers, the program was settled. Vasudeva and Devaki were released from the chains of Kamsa, and the two widows of Kamsa, Asti and Prapti, they went back to their father's house. Apparently, Kamsa had no grown-up children. So these two widows, they were the daughters of the great demon, great powerful king called Jarasandha, who was the king of the Magadha province, now known as Bihar, north of Bengal. So when Jarasandha heard from his daughters that his son-in-law, Kamsa, had been killed by Krishna, and Kamsa's brothers had been killed by Balaram, he vowed to annihilate the Yadu dynasty, and he attacked Mathura with a huge army. Some references said it was more than 20 Akshuyini. So one Akshuyini is 21,000 chariots, 21,000 elephants, 100,000 infantry soldiers, and 65,000 horses. So you can imagine 21,000 chariots and 21,000 elephants. That's 40,000 chariots and elephants together. 100,000 infantry soldiers, 60,000 horses. You multiply that by 23 or by 20 Akshuyini, so you can imagine the size of Jarasandha's army. In fact, when Jarasandha's army came and assembled outside Mathura, it was so huge it covered the light of the sun. And Krishna and Balaram only had a small army, but they went out to fight against Jarasandha. And the chariot of Balaram with the palm tree and the chariot of Krishna with the flag of Hanuman, they disappeared into the midst of this huge army of Jarasandha. But Krishna with his bow and Balaram with his club, they annihilated all the soldiers of Jarasandha. Completely, killed them all. This was also part of Krishna's plan, Vinashaya Duskritam, to diminish the number of demons on the planet. So Jarasandha was left with no army. He was taken prisoner, but Balaram released him and he went back to Dwarka. And 17 times after that, he attacked Mathura with the same number of soldiers, and 17 times Krishna and Balaram annihilated them all. So this is the story also there about Balaram. Then, after Jarasandha was killed by the arrangement of Krishna and Bhimsen killed him, and then there was the Kurukshetra war. During the Kurukshetra war, Balaram did not take part, because on the one side, Duryodhan, the commander of the Kurus, he was Balaram's disciple. Balaram had taught him the art of fighting with a mace. And Balaram was the well-wisher of everyone. But on the other side, there was Arjuna and his brothers, and they were the disciples of Krishna. So Balaram didn't want to take either side, so he decided to not fight and go on a tour of the holy places. This you can always do in India. And if you don't have any particular service to do, or if you feel a little uncertain what to do, you can always visit the holy places. But not just to take bath. You visit the holy places to speak with the sages and saints who reside in the holy places. In other words, you go to the holy places for your spiritual emancipation. Therefore, Balaram first of all went to the forests of Naimisharanya, and he was greeted by the sages. There he killed one impostor called Ramaharsana, and then he killed a demon called Balvala. And in this way, Lord Balaram satisfied the sages, and then he began a complete tour from Ganga Sagar, or where Ganga Devi flows into the ocean of Bengal, all the way to Kanyakumari, the southernmost point of India, all the way to the north where the Ganga begins. So in this way, Balaram toured all the holy places. And that is very nicely explained by Srila Prabhupada in the Krishna book. I suggest you read it. Lord Balaram liberation of Balvala and Lord Balaram, touring of the sacred places. Chapter 79. Thank you very much. If you have any comments, please be sure to post them, and we'll see each other again next Wednesday. Hare Krishna.